Hello and welcome everyone, and welcome to this session of the MCQs of Law and Ethics. And guys, in this session we are going to discuss the MCQs of Negotiable Instrument Act. And this is one of the most important acts which are there in your syllabus. But the point is that as compared to the other two acts, that is Contract Act and Sales of Goods Act, this particular act will hold lesser value in your examination. So this act will actually be of say 10 to 12 marks in your examination, maximum 20 marks, nothing more than that. So let's start the MCQs on Negotiable Instrument Act. The Negotiable Instrument Act makes specific mention of three instruments, namely check, bill of exchange, and you have to choose the correct answer: promissory note, hundi, bank draft, customary note. So out of all of these, which is the third instrument which it talks about? It talks about A, promissory note. So these are the three instruments which this particular act talks about: check, bills of exchange, and promissory note. Okay, sir. Question number 2. In legal terms, a person who receives a negotiable instrument in good faith and for valuable consideration is known as A, holder; B, holder for value; C, holder in due course; D, holder in rights. So the right answer is C, holder in due course. So whosoever gets the valid right towards a particular negotiable instrument, that person is known as the holder in due course. Question number 3. A negotiable instrument in which no time for payment is specified is payable. So wherever there is no time specified in the instrument, then when will this instrument be payable? After acceptance, after sight, after 1 month, or D, on demand. Guys, the correct answer is D, on demand. Such instruments are payable on demand. You need not pay it upfront within expiry of a particular period, say 1 month or so. Whenever you get a demand for payment, you can pay that particular instrument. Question number 4. A bill of exchange payable to bearer. So a bill of exchange which is payable to bearer on demand is: number 1, valid; B, voidable; C, invalid; D, conditional. Guys, this kind of bill of exchange is invalid. So no bills of exchange can be paid to the bearer on demand. There has to be a specific date on which bills of exchange is payable. Bills of exchange cannot be an open document. So the correct answer is C, invalid. Such bills of exchange which is payable on demand is invalid. Okay, sir. Question number 5. A person who is directed to pay the amount of bill of exchange is known as. So a person who is directed to pay the amount in a bill of exchange is known as, a person who is directed to pay the amount of bill of exchange is drawer, drawee, payee, creditor. Guys, the correct answer is drawee. Drawee is actually directed to pay the amount which is specified in the bills of exchange. So the correct answer is B, drawee. Question number 6. A person can become an acceptor for honor of a bill of exchange only if his name is mentioned in the bill. So a person can become an acceptor for honor of bill of exchange. So in the bill of exchange, who can accept the bill of exchange? That person can only be the person whose name is mentioned in the bill. Options are true, false, partly true, partly false. Guys, the answer is false. So an acceptor of the bill can be any person, whether his name is mentioned in the bill or not, because in case of subsequent transfers, a person whose name is not mentioned in the bill can also act as the acceptor for honor of the bill. And even in case of initial transfers, the acceptor of honor of the bill can be any person, who even that person whose name is not specified in the bill of exchange. Question number 7. A negotiable instrument drawn in favor of a minor. So if you enter a negotiable instrument in name of a minor, then it is voidable, it's voidable, it's void, it's valid, it's invalid. The answer is it's valid. So guys, it's very, very valid. It's a legal document if you execute a negotiable instrument in favor of a minor. Question number 8. All checks are bills of exchange, but all bills of exchange are not checks. Is it true? Is it false? Partly true, partly false. Guys, the answer is it is very much true. So all the bills, all the checks are bills of exchange, which means that checks contain all the necessary features which are required in the bills of exchange. So checks are bills of exchange, but all bills of exchange are not check, because generally check is only drawn in favor of a bank. Bill of exchange can be drawn in name of any person, be it a bank or a non-bank. So bill of exchange is a little open document. A person becomes a holder in due course of a negotiable instrument if he receives it in good faith, for value, before maturity, all of the above. Guys, the answer is all of the above. So if all the above conditions are satisfied, then only a person becomes holder in due course of a negotiable instrument. Question number 10. A negotiable instrument payable to order can be transferred by. So if a negotiable instrument is paid to order, which means when you order someone, only then this bills of exchange will be payable. It can be transferred. How can it be transferred to another party? Simple delivery, endorsement, endorsement and delivery, registered post. The correct answer is endorsement and delivery. So it is really important because the negotiable instrument is named as to order. It is payable to order, which means whosoever is holding that particular negotiable instrument, it will be paid to that particular person. So A, endorsement is required, B, delivery is required. Both the things are required in such a case. Question number 11. An endorsement made by an endorser by signing his name and also by writing name of the endorsee is known as. So whenever you make an endorsement by signing your name and also by writing the name of the endorsee, you call this kind of endorsement as A, general endorsement, B, special endorsement, C, restrictive endorsement, D, none of the above. Guys, the answer is special endorsement. So in this case, you are actually transferring the negotiable instrument by way of a written agreement or writing. Therefore, this is a special endorsement. Question number 12. When during the course of negotiation, the negotiable instrument comes back to the original endorser, it is known as A, negotiation back, B, reverse endorsement, D, facultative endorsement, D, back recourse endorsement. The correct answer is negotiation back. When while negotiating a particular negotiable instrument, the negotiable instrument is received back to the original endorser or to the original person who has created the negotiable instrument, then this particular endorsement is known as negotiation back. Question number 13. On the acceptance of the bills of exchange by the drawee, the liability of drawer becomes A, primary, B, secondary, C, extinct, D, none of the above. So guys, when bills of exchange is accepted by the drawee, to whomsoever it is drawn, it is accepted by the drawee, the liability of the drawer becomes primary, secondary, extinct or none of the above. The answer is secondary. So guys, whosoever is named as the payee in that particular negotiable instrument, his liability is primary and drawer's liability is always secondary. Okay, sir. Question number 14. On dishonor of a check due to insufficient funds, the criminal liability of the drawer is the fine only which may extend to double the amount of check, and there is no imprisonment. Guys, this is absolutely false because Indian Penal Code has a section in which the liability for dishonor of a check can also be imprisonment. So this is absolutely false. Question number 15. The presentment of acceptance is required in case of. So the presentment for acceptance, presenting is required. This is a mandatory condition for which kind of negotiable instrument? A, bills of exchange, B, promissory note, C, check. Both A and B. Guys, the answer is bills of exchange. Only in case of bills of exchange, the presentment of acceptance is required. You have to present that yes, you are accepting this particular bills of exchange. Only then it will form a valid bills of exchange. Therefore, presentment is required. 16. A failure to present a negotiable instrument as per the rules and charges. So whenever you present a negotiable instrument for payment, if you do not present it as per the rules and discharges, then what will happen? All parties to the instrument are discharged by this particular act. Number 2, all parties except those secondary liable, all parties except those primary liable, none of the parties to the instrument. The correct answer is all the parties except those primary liable. So if a negotiable instrument is not presented on time, or if its payment is not done on time, then guys, all the parties to whom who are primary liable for this particular negotiable instrument will be discharged of their liabilities, because a fault is there in case of presentment of negotiable instrument. So the next is question number 17. A bill of exchange is treated as dishonored due to non-acceptance where the drawee. So in what circumstance will a bill of exchange be treated as dishonored? Let's see what are the cases given in the options. A, does not accept within 48 hours of presentment. B, it is incompetent to contract. C, gives a conditional acceptance. D, in all the above cases. Guys, the right answer is in all the above cases. In all of the above cases, the bill of exchange is treated as dishonored if the drawee does any of the above cases. So yes, all of the above is the correct answer. Question number 18. In case of dishonor of a check, when a check is dishonored, the holder's remedy is against the, so the holder of the check, who can he approach, or who can rectify this mistake, or who can provide him the remedy? The remedy is against whom will the remedy be available in case of dishonor of a check? A, drawee of the check. B, drawer of the check. C, endorsee of the check. Both A and B. The correct answer is B, drawer of the check. So a person who draws the check, that person will be held responsible for the dishonor of the check. So the answer is B, drawer of the check. Question number 19. In case of dishonor of a bill of exchange of or a check, the noting is compulsory to recover the amount from the liable authority, from the liable party. So noting is required when there is a dishonor of bill of exchange or a check, then noting is required, is a mandatory requirement. A, true. B, false. C, partly true. D, partly false. Guys, it's absolutely false. No noting whatsoever is required in case of dishonor of a bill of exchange or dishonor of a check. No noting is required. It's absolutely false. Question number 20. In which of the following cases of forgery a bank is discharged from the liability by making a payment in due course? So, in which of the following cases of fraud, of forgery, the bank is discharged from the liability by making a payment in due course? So, if bank makes payment in due course, so going forward, subsequently, if the bank makes the payment, then in what of the following cases the forgery will be discharged, bank will be discharged of its liability? A, payee's endorsement. B, drawer's signatures. C, both A and B. D, none of the above. The answer is payee's endorsement. So when the liability is discharged in due course, when would a bank be relieved of its liability? It will be in case of payee's endorsement. When bank pays off the money to the person whom payee has endorsed this negotiable instrument, at that point in time, the bank's liability will be discharged. So payee's endorsement will be the end of the discharge of bank's liability. Then material alteration of a negotiable instrument without consent of the parties. So if parties have not consented and there is a material alteration in the negotiable instrument without consent of the parties, discharge the parties who have become liable So material alteration, if there is a alteration in case of a negotiable instrument without consideration of party, discharges the party who have become liable: A, after such alteration; B, prior to such alteration; C, because of alteration; D, without such alteration. So guys, the answer is prior to such alteration. So whenever this alteration has happened, prior to such alteration, whatever changes are made in the agreement without any permission, without taking consent from either of the parties, at that point in time, your the parties will be discharged of their liabilities. They will not be held responsible of the liabilities because they were not consulted before making such alterations. So those parties who were party to the contract prior to the alteration, guys, those party will become liable. Those party will become discharged from its liabilities. They will not be liable, they will be discharged from the liabilities. Question number 22. Which of the following is not a material alteration? You have to tell us which of the following is not material alteration of a bill of exchange. A, alteration of date; B, alteration of amount, guys, material; alteration of time of payment, material; alteration correcting clerical mistake. The answer is alteration correcting clerical mistake. So if there's a clerical mistake, if there is a one-off mistake which is there in the bill of exchange and that is not rectified, then that is known as not a material mistake. It is immaterial. If you rectify some clerical mistake, it is immaterial. Question number 23. A check is said to contain a general crossing when two parallel lines are drawn across the check. So a check is said to contain a general crossing. When will you say that the check is generally crossed? When two parallel lines are drawn across the face of check. A, without any words; B, with words and company; C, with words not negotiable; D, in all of the above cases. Guys, the answer is in all of the above cases. Guys, these are examples of general crossing. All of them are examples of general crossing. If you want to cross your check generally, then you can do any one of these. Without any word, you write the word and company, you write the word not negotiable. All of the three means that this is a general crossing. This is example of general crossing. So answer is D, in all of the above cases. Question number 24. The payment of a crossed check can be obtained. So when can you obtain payment of a crossed check? A, at the counter; B, by depositing in account; C, by the payee only; D, both A and C. Guys, the answer is by depositing in account. So check's payment can be taken, payment from the check can be taken only by depositing the check in the account. 25th. In case of dishonor of a check due to insufficient funds in drawer's account, the drawer is liable to imprisonment, which may extend up to. So whenever you dishonor a check due to insufficient funds, you have insufficient funds in your accounts and you dishonor a particular check, your check gets dishonored in the drawer's account. The drawer is liable to imprisonment, which may extend up to. What is the liability of imprisonment? What can be the duration of imprisonment in such a case? Should it be 3 months, B, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years? Guys, the answer is 2 years. Yes, dishonoring of a check is a major crime, is a major offense under Indian laws. Your check should not get dishonored. If it gets dishonored, then if drawee wants, he can proceed legally against you and he can actually sue you even for imprisonment. Question number 26. A hundi which is payable to the holder or bearer is known as. A hundi which is payable to the holder or the bearer is known as A, नामजोग हुंडी; B, फिरमन हुंडी; C, जवाबी हुंडी; D, धनी योग हुंडी. The answer is D, dhani yog hundi. This is the hundi which is payable to the holder or the bearer of that particular hundi. What is a hundi? Hundi is again a negotiable instrument. It's a document which is executed in favor of a particular person. It creates an obligation to actually make the payment to a particular person. So it is a kind of a instrument. Which of the following is not a condition of negotiability? So you need to tell us what is not a condition for negotiability. It should be freely transferable. Of course, that is a primary condition of negotiability. B. Transferee can sue upon the instrument. It is it should be made for a valid consideration. The person taking in good faith is not affected by defect in title of the transferor. Guys, the right answer is C. C is not a condition of negotiability. It might be a condition for creation of a negotiable instrument, but it is not a condition for negotiability. Negotiability can happen without a valid consideration or with a valid consideration. Consideration is not a hampering factor in case of negotiability of a negotiable instrument. However, if we go to the Contract Act, then in case of a Contract Act, guys, negotiability or consideration can be a deterrent for a valid contract in case of a Contract Act, but not in case of a negotiability of instrument. It is negotiable even if it does not have a valid consideration. Question number 28. A promissory note or bill of exchange in which no time for payment is specified is called. So a negotiable instrument in which no time is specified for payment. You can repay at any point in time. No time is specified for repayment. A. Nominal instrument. B. Time instrument. C. Demand instrument. D. Accommodation bill. Guys, the correct answer is C. Demand instrument. It is the demand instrument, which is a bill of exchange or promissory note which has no time for repayment. It is repaid on demand. Question number 29. An instrument which can either be treated as a bill or a note by the holder is called as. So an instrument which is treated as bill or note by the holder. Holder has the right to treat it either as a note or as a bills of exchange, is called as number 1, ambiguous instrument, number 2, demand instrument, number 3, optional instrument, number 4, none of the above. Guys, the right answer is A, ambiguous instrument. So instrument having features of both a note as well as a bills of exchange, that is known as an ambiguous instrument, and that particular instrument can be treated as either of the two things depending upon the will of the person who is holding those instruments. Yes, sir. Question number 30. A duly stamped instrument which is left blank or partially incomplete, giving an authority to holder to complete it, is called A, inchoate instrument, B, blank instrument, C, ambiguous instrument, D, demand instrument. Guys, it is known as inchoate instrument. So an instrument which is left incomplete or which is left blank is known as an inchoate instrument. Unless and until it is filled, filled with certain details which are required for an instrument, it will not be termed as a valid instrument. It is termed as an inchoate instrument. Question number 31. A bill which is drawn, accepted or endorsed without consideration is called. So a bill which is drawn, accepted or endorsed without a consideration is called number 1, accommodation bill, gratuitous bill, inchoate bill, none of the above. The answer is accommodation bill. Guys, in case of an accommodation bill, it is drawn, accepted or endorsed without a consideration. It is accommodation bill. Question number 32. The new definition of a check is provided by Negotiable Instrument Act 1881. That is the original definition. In this original definition is there, not the new one. Negotiable Instrument Amendment and Miscellaneous Provision Act 2002. Negotiable Instrument Updation, none of the above act. The answer is Negotiable Instrument Amendment Act. So guys, in Amendment Act, the check has been given a different definition and a newer definition. Okay, sir. Question number 33. As per the RBI Act, which of the following negotiable instrument can be payable to bearer on demand? So, according to RBI Act, which of these negotiable instrument can be paid to bearer on demand? Whatever, whenever he demands, you have to pay those bill. So, A, check, B, hundi, C, bank draft, D, promissory note. The answer is check. Guys, the check is presented or the check is payable on demand. Whenever you will demand for it, the check will be paid to you. 34. In case a banker without any justification fails to honor a check, You've presented a check to the banker and banker without any justification fails to honor it. Who has the right to take an action against it? Against the bank, who will take the action? A. The drawer for any loss or damage suffered by him. B. Drawee for the inconvenience caused to him. C. Neither A or B. D. Both A or B. Both A and B. So guys, the right answer is A. The drawer will be can take action against the bank for the loss suffered by him. 35. As per the Negotiable Instrument Act, so we refer to the Negotiable Instrument Act again. As per the Negotiable Instrument Act, a check becomes time barred after A. 5 years of the date of issue, B. 3 years from the date of issue, C. 1 year from the date of issue, D. 9 months from the date of issue. So guys, the correct answer is 3 years from the date of issue, but this is also not the correct answer since there is no other option which is given to me. That's why I have chosen 3 years. Guys, this has been amended to 6 months. Now the latest time limit is 6 months. So in case a question comes where there is no option to choose the correct answer, and however this is a rare possibility, this kind of questions will not come in your examination, but if situation arises where you are given 4 options and those 4 options are incorrect, guys, you should choose the most proximate answer. So the most proximate answer is 3 years. However, the correct time limit is 6 months now after the amendment. Okay, sir.